Alright, everybody, welcome back to CAN Bus Kenny. Right now we've got this Chevy in here with a knock sensor code for bank 2. As you can see, I don't know, the P0332. I'm not sure what knock sensor 1 would be, but it's going to be the same process, especially for this one, because this isn't even like intermittent fault. They usually, every time I get them, they're usually intermittent fault, but this one's pretty solid. So I'll erase it twice because that's how Autel and Chevy do their thing. And for some reason, reread. Start it up. Wait a second. Read it. It's already back. It hasn't requested the middle light yet. I don't know how many trips it takes to do that. The light is not on, as you can see. 0 miles. Engine needed to be running to do this, and you'll see that in engine speed is actually at 0. Interesting. First time I saw it was at 1,000, but doesn't really matter right now. I'm gonna pull it in over there because something's in here, and I'm gonna look at the knock sensors. These ones should be on the sides of the of the engine, not the transmission. I don't remember what side's bank 1 and bank 2, probably because I'm dyslexic, so I always forget after I look it up. But yeah, let's go get our hairy eyeballs on them and see if we can see anything obvious. Alright, everybody, so first things first, you want to find out which side's bank 1 and bank 2. If you don't know, bank 2 is on this side. That's where we had our code for, our P0332, knock sensor 2, circuit low voltage. You can see here by this, it's only could be a short to ground as far as it's concerned, which could be the sensor. The sensor should be shorted to ground. And then if you don't know how the knock sensor works, it creates its own AC voltage that varies depending on engine vibration due to knock, and then it'll adjust timing based to fix that concern. Basically, there's the running condition, but we're not going there yet. I'm not gonna do all the own measurements. One lives here, that little silver thing. The other one lives right there, right next to the starter. You can see how crusty and rusty the block is. A lot of times that will build up and it'll push out on the sensor, and then it'll break the sensor and or skew the readings. I believe that's a high code that usually happens, an intermittent high code. This is low code. So first things first, you gotta get it unplugged, so I'm gonna do that off camera. Okay, everybody, I've got the sensor unplugged. I guess I'll show you that first, maybe, or removed. You can see the amount of rust buildup that was underneath it, and you can see right here in the top corner that that's what was making contact, and only making contact before I took it off. Now it doesn't look really old, but the truck's not really that old. Definitely not new. I don't see any GM genuine stuff, but I don't think it's aftermarket. I think it's original. I'll show you how to check the wiring. Where is it? Right here. So I'm just sticking this and touching the things. I'm not spreading them open. This is a really small pin anyways. Try to do it. Okay, 2.5 and 1.0. Alright, I got both sensors out for resistance measurement. It is open circuit, so it's not shorted to ground. This generates its own voltage. It's like a microphone. You can see here on the known good, I guess, you can see how well it has seated to the surface, and then this one it has not. This one says Japan on it. Whoops. Right there. So it makes me feel like this is the OEM sensor, and then it got a knock sensor code, and then the guys at this place just replaced this without actually cleaning the surface is super important that you clean the surface in case you can't see it. It is very cruddy up there, right there, that green thing. That should be nice and smooth, so I'm going to have to do quite a lot of effort here to clean up this area and then torque it to spec and see if that fixes anything. I actually might swap them from side to side also at the same time. If you can't get a torque wrench in, you just can't over tighten these because they are very, it's a microphone, so if you squeeze it too hard, it's going to give you a bunch of, you know, false knock, I guess. That's pretty much what happens usually with the rust buildup underneath, and pretty much does that, but also makes me feel like this is not an OEM sensor, because this one over here says Japan on it, and that's very possibly where they get their sensor from. So I'm going to clean up the area. Maybe I can show you, because this side I'm sure is clean. What it should look like. Where is it? Right there, you see it. Plenty of clean, nice metal. I'm gonna clean up the rust around it so that doesn't become a problem in the future, but that's not the problem on this side. So alright, let's see if I can show you. I cleaned it up. Pretty clean up there now. Same thing on the other side. I use this. It's a diamond wheel on one of my angle grinders. Keep it nice and flat so it doesn't get all cockeyed and just rip, 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 rip. I also had to clean this one. See, I didn't get it all off, but I got it off that I think it will be fine. And then I'm going to put this one on bank 1 and then put this one on bank 2. So if for some reason now it's intermittent and it goes back, by the way, if you have an intermittent knock sensor code on one of these, the easiest thing to do is just to take them out, put them in a different spot, especially if you don't have both codes, and see if it moved with it. So, thanks. Alright everybody, we're back in the truck. She's a-running. There are no codes so far. Let's read it again and make sure. Nothing. I want to go for a road test and see if anything comes back. But it sure does seem like in this case that either A, the knock sensor was improperly installed, or I'm not really sure. I mean, that's kind of the only thing that it could be. Probably one of the mechanics that works for this company, they're kind of hacks, so they keep us motivated here and keep us busy. So I'm gonna go for a road test, and then I'll bring you and just show you that there's no codes, I guess, and that's one for the books. All right, everybody, and if this will come in focus, you'll see now after my long test drive, even though the check engine light didn't come on yet, code came back for bank 1 now, so we have swapped sensors and we've got now a low voltage. So partially of this was definitely had to do with the way that it was on there. The other part probably has to do with this is I would assume an aftermarket sensor that's not OEM. So we are going to put our recommendation in for OEM sensor on bank 1, and I mean, it's already cleaned up, so it'd be nice and easy for whoever does it. We know that the circuit is good for as far as the harness and the computer and all that stuff. I was trying to show you voltages, but they all went weird once I set a code, so probably won't even be in this video. But if you freeze frame data on these, there's almost nothing. You know, there's not really much here other than figuring out if the car's running or not. You know, we weren't going anywhere, so this is probably before I even left. But who knows? Yeah, so that's the gist. It needs a knock sensor, which was on bank 2, but now on bank 1. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And thanks for watching.